wedding. You remember that? I don't know if I believe it, but whatever it is, I remember how angry Trump got. He didn't get angry when Jared and Ivanka were using their private phones. It's supposed to benefit us. If that wasn't bad enough, just imagine what's happening now with these deportations and Trump and this administration going in, all of these, these universities, these schools, these programs. I mean, it's like, say, or you're fucked. And I mean, the fact that Colombia capitulated, really? Serious? The fact that ABC and CBS and who was the other one? The AP and now this law firm, they're all capitulating. This isn't the way our system. This is political extortion. How many times do I have to turn around and say to people again and again, this is not the Donald Trump that I knew. Donald Trump was always, when I knew him from 2005 to 2018, 13 years, none of this would have happened. None of this would have been permitted. You got Howard Lutnick, for God's sakes, talking about with Elon Musk, who turns around and says that Social Security is the greatest scam. It's the biggest Ponzi scheme ever. I don't know about you. I've been working since I was 20 years old. Literally since I was 20 years old. And I've been paying in to Social Security. Well, if it's a scam, give me my fucking money back. If it's a Ponzi scheme, give me my money back. Like the way that the government got back money when, when Bernie Madoff. Right? People go, give me my fucking money back if that's the case, if it's a Ponzi scheme. I've been paying this in for close to 40 is 38 years? And now you're telling me it's a Ponzi scheme? It's not a Ponzi scheme. $65 a day is generally what the average person gets. By the way, Elon Musk makes $8 million a day off government contracts. Think about that. Think about that for a second. And Lutnick turns around. Lutnick turns around and has the balls to turn around and to say that if you are on Social Security and you don't get your check for 1 month, don't worry about it. You'll get it the next month. And if for whatever the reason may be, if you got no money within which to pay for your meds, your food, your rent, or what have you, because there's a lot of people, Howard, that live in this country and they rely upon this for their to live. That they're fraudsters, to be so detached from reality. I know Lutnick for 23 years. When did he become so detached from reality? It's this fucking circle of just entitled people. You know, on my Substack, I put an article out there that turns out they are so out of touch. I put this article out about 2 days ago. Billionaires make the worst leaders. Why? Well, I'm going to tell you the reason why. Because billionaires don't care about people. They care about profit. And the only way to make a profit, somebody has to win, somebody has to lose. And that's their ideology. The problem is a leader is not supposed to be about profit. Everything's not supposed to be transactional. It's about people. It's about the constituents. It's about America, not profit, about people. It's terrible. This is terrible. This is not the Donald Trump that I knew. And it kills me when I'm watching television and I'm watching these bunch of imbeciles, because I know if I was still in that inner circle, I'd be getting a phone call right now. Michael, go meet up with Lutnick. Tell Lutnick to move back to his fucking townhouse in Manhattan. and tell me who needs to take his place. And the same shit with whoever leaked these classified war operational plans. I want you to stop for a second. Stop for a second and think. Think for 1 second the damage that leak could possibly have cost the United States of America, our military, our national security. It is mind-boggling. Now, I don't know if it was Hegseth who did it. Could have been the undersecretary. I don't know. But here's the thing. You think we're going to find out? You think we're going to find out? Yeah, Stephen Miller was on that, what do you call it, that text chain as well. Do none of them understand that that's not proper? Let me go one step further. Why is it not proper that they're using Signal? Well, let me tell you. Today is the day of education, so MAGA morons, pay attention. You know why using Signal? 2 reasons. 1, it's not secured. But more importantly, the documents, whether they're the wartime plans or the communications leading up to the attack there in Yemen on the Houthis, you know who those documents belong to? Come on, MAGA. Come on, you can do this. The people, the American people. You may recall the indictment against Donald Trump regarding, they called it the Mar-a-Lago documents case. Remember there's something called NARA, N-A-R-A? Right? National Archives. You remember that? Okay. Those documents and all of the documents leading up to the attack in Yemen belong to the American people. Signal, those text messages, those emails, they disappear after a certain specific period of time, whether it's a minute, 5 minutes, an hour, or a week, they disappear. Well, how do those documents then end up in the hands of NARA, which is where they belong? And I can't believe that Trump said that he didn't know about it. I can't believe it. If they kept that a secret from him, they all need to go. Every last one of them. They're making him look, they're making this administration look completely incompetent. Like, how many people here remember from years ago that cartoon, The Keystone Cops, right? Bunch of cops running around in a circle, chasing each other. This isn't funny. This isn't funny by a long stretch. I am in shock. In shock. And no, unfortunately, we the people, we cannot sue. What's the grounds of the suit? You know what we can do? You can fucking vote. You can get angry. You can get vigilant. Start helping out in your local Democratic offices with your representatives, something. Help to make a change. Any change. Because here's the crazy thing. While all of this nuttiness is going on, while all of this, yeah, it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing that there are stupid people who think that this information isn't legitimate, that this isn't embarrassing, David, for somebody like you, an ignorant putz, a fucking putz who thinks that America's Democratic Republic, our standing in the world, is something that we just walk away from. You have Prime Minister Starmer. I know you don't even know who that is because you're a fucking fool. Starmer standing up in front of the world. Somebody has to do it in order to protect the interest and the future of Ukraine. And he's putting together the entire EU while we're sitting here and putting tariffs on Venezuelan oil. Imagine that, you fucking dummy. Just imagine. Somebody else other than the American president is standing up for one of our allies' democracy against an adversary who is an autocrat. Imagine that this is what the rest of the world is looking at from a country that used to be the beacon of democracy in the world. Now, well, either you pay us or fuck you. You're on your own. Everything isn't about money. That's the whole point. And Canada, talk about another issue. As most of you know, half my family lives in Toronto. And now all of a sudden, Canada, our maple syrup loving cousins from the north, all of a sudden they're our enemy. Canada is laughing at America. Canada is stealing from America. Canada this, Canada that. They need to be our 51st state. What the fuck? I love Canada too. I love my family there. So I'm going to say it again. What the fuck? At some point in time, this crazy shit has to stop. Trump is not certifiable. That's the whole thing. I am telling you, it's easy for so many people just to say, Trump this, Trump that, Trump. You don't know him. I do. And I am telling you, he just doesn't want to do the job. He never wanted to be president. When we started the campaign in 2011, and then again in 2015, it wasn't to become president. It was supposed to be the greatest infomercial, the greatest political infomercial in the history of U.S. politics. He enjoys the perks of being president, don't get me wrong, but he doesn't want to hear this shit. He doesn't. And all of this nonsense about tariffs is going to end up making us so rich, no one's going to pay taxes, and so on. Stop it. Stop. This bullshit on tariffs is making everybody poor. And now they're talking about undoing Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, SNAPs program. They took away funding from NIH for children with cancer. We're saying to ourselves, stop. Stop. This is not the man who I know. This isn't the man who I knew for 13 plus years. It's just not. The people that are surrounding him, these enablers, they are the worst of the worst. They are literally, and again, morons. And you know who you are out there, right? MAGA morons that think that by tough guy texting me that makes you smart or clever. Read Project 2025. And just in case you don't know what Project 2025 is, it is a 922-page manifesto on how to destroy our democratic republic, how to turn America into an autocracy. And if you say, "Oh, I'm not Trump, yay, go
they
Trump,"
don't like him.
We all want Trump to succeed. He's the president. And this is the way our country works, right? A plurality of Americans voted for him, but we don't want him to succeed when you're taking and stripping away a woman's right to decide her reproductive decision-making. When you turn around and you once again, for the second time, right? Remember in my book, and those of you who want to get it, DM me. These are the limited special edition ones. How Donald Trump, his administration weaponized the Department of Justice against his critic, me, right? They violate your First Amendment constitutional right. What about these Salvadorians that are now in Venezuela? How about their First Amendment right. Now, I know some of you, especially the MAGA morons, are going to turn around and say, well, they're MS-13, they're, what do you call them, Terra Agua, they're gangs and they're murderers and they're rapists and they're drug addicts. And so if that's true, I'm 100% with you. Get them the fuck out. Nobody was properly vetted. They'll tell you they were all properly vetted. One, Tren de Agua. How about there's at least one factual that we know. The tattoo that he had was not Tren de Agua. It was he's the coach of a soccer team. I think it's Real Madrid. No, seriously. He's a coach who had a tattoo. They said that it was gang related. The tattoo was the team that he's a coach for, Real Madrid. What about his fucking rights? And I'm not saying that there's not some of them, or maybe even more than 50% of them, that we want out. But what about the innocent ones? Right? What about them? There's no due process here. There is no actual policy within which to do it. It's basically a gigantic show. It was a reality show put on by one of these reality producers where, okay, watch them all coming out of the plane, stripped down into shorts and a white T-shirt with their head between their legs, handcuffed and shackled. And trust me, I know what it's like to be handcuffed and shackled. All right? Trust me, I know. You want to read about it? DM me. I'll tell you how to get the book. But Go Keynes is right. But how about this crazy shit? Then they have two cops on each one of them, right, with their head shoved down almost where their nose is scraping against the ground. They put them all in there. They took them not even to their own country. They took them to a country that we're paying $6 million to house them. Come on. And then did you hear today the Deputy Attorney General before Judge Millett basically turned around and say, well, how do we know that this isn't going to happen again? And what do we do about those that shouldn't be over there? How do we get them back? Why did you violate Judge Boasberg's order demanding that the planes be returned to the states so that due process can be given? This isn't a question about whether they belong here or not. It's not a question about whether or not some of these people are or are not part of Tren de Agua. This is about whether or not that they receive due process before you shove their fucking asses onto a plane and ship them off to an internment camp. That's what it's about. It's called the Constitution. The fact that the plane left is irrelevant. Talking point that it was over international water so that they didn't have to do it. That's not true. Even assuming that that's accurate, what about the fact that they put people on that aircraft that should not have been there? Tell me, how do we get them back? Are we getting them back? How is that going to work? What if it was you? What if it was somebody who you knew, someone who you cared about? And if you think that this is funny, that good, we're glad, get them all out of here, remember what I wrote in this book. One of the reasons I've been yelling as loud as I do about what took place by Bill Barr with my lawsuit that went all the way up to the Supreme Court of the United States. Because despite the fact, MAGA morons, that I think you're as stupid as shit, right? I still don't want to see another American citizen ever, what happened to me, I don't want to see it happen to you. And as much as I think you're stupid and you probably fucking deserve it, I still don't want to see anyone's constitutional rights violated. Talk about constitutional rights. Talk about Columbia University, Mahmoud Khalil. Regardless of whether you're pro-Israel, pro-Palestine, it's irrelevant. That's not the issue. The issue is, how does the President of the United States figure that he has a right to make a determination? Oh, thank you for that. How does he have the right to make a determination that this protest is deemed illegal? Somebody just tell me, what is the basis of an illegal protest? Are they on government grounds? Are they having a illegal march, or let's call it an insurrection on the grounds of the Capitol where they don't have a permit? Is that what it is? Or is it that you just don't like the content of what they are saying? You know, that is the very essence of the First Amendment. And I want you to think for a second. Once again, MAGA, the purpose sometimes of these sort of TikToks is to teach you something, because I'm sure none of you finished past 5th grade. Or you're in some remedial class that, by the way, will not exist anymore, simply because they've now completely destroyed the Department of Education. So just imagine, you won't even make it to 5th grade now. But imagine that the First Amendment to the Constitution is the First Amendment for a reason. The founding fathers, the drafters of our Constitution made the First Amendment. It's technically the denominator. I know you never took math. Denominator, right? Top is the numerator, bottom is the denominator. All of the other amendments rely upon your freedoms granted in the First Amendment. You follow that? I don't care what Reagan wanted to do. We're not in the 80s anymore. This is 2025, and we are in a world of shit where it's not just about illegal protest. They took a professor from Brown University. I mean, this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning. And the danger to our democratic republic cannot be underestimated. It just can't. And we don't want to say, fuck Donald Trump. We don't want to say that. All right. What we want to do is we want to ensure that our communities like this one continue to grow day in and day out, day in and day out. Why? So that when it comes time to vote in midterm elections in 2026, there will be a big enough group. Remember, despite the fact what Trump and these enablers and the sycophants and the acolytes are all telling you, that this was a ass-kicking of an election. And so, no, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. He won by 1.5%. It's generally within the plus or minus 0.3% of what Trump lost to Biden on, what Trump beat Hillary Clinton on, what Obama won. Take a look at the numbers. It's always like under 2 million people. 2 million. I myself have close to 2 million followers on my various social media platforms. If each and every one of those people voted, got out and voted, specifically for the Democrats, maybe the election would have come out differently. It's not what happened. There's so many things that are going on right now. It's so hard. It's so hard. I spoke to friends of mine who are journalists today. And one of the things one of the journalists said to me was, what you're talking to me about is from 4 days ago. It was from Friday. He goes, I'm not writing about that anymore. I said, but it's still relevant. He goes, I know, but new stuff. I got new direction from my editor. Imagine. What they do every single morning is they turn on the fire hose of stupidity and nonsense, and then they just spray it right at everybody. The ones who glob it up, right? That's the MAGA morons. You know who you are. You 3-tooth, 4-brain cell bunch of schmucks that think that this is all a fucking game. This isn't a game. This is the greatest country in the world because of your rights. And when you start losing a right, when you start losing your rights, you never get them back. So those people who think that, oh, okay, if Trump isn't president again in 2028, that means that Roe versus Wade will come back. No, it doesn't. That's not how it works. It's not how it works. Remember, it took them 50 years to kill. Think about how long it took them. These aren't Ray-Bans. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. And if you want to fully understand what this whole game is about, like I said, DM me how to get the book. I'll tell you how to get it if you want it. If you read MAGA, you're the ones that really should be reading this, so you understand just how dangerous things are right now. Really, really bad. Well, with that, I'm just going to say goodnight. Going to remind everybody, check out my Substack. Check out my Mea Culpa podcast. That you'll really enjoy. It's the one with the blue background icon. Make sure that you become part of a community. In that way, you stay informed. Don't be like MAGA. You got to stay informed, and you got to stay vigilant. You got to stay willing to fight, because if you don't have the right anymore to sit on your hands, right, and do nothing. That doesn't work anymore. Yeah, I'm on Midas Touch Tuesdays and Thursdays. Ben and I have a show called Political Beatdown, #1 in the world for news. #1 in the world. And by the way, Midas Touch, they're fucking killing it. I mean, they've taken over the spot of Joe Rogan and everything else, including bigger than Fox News.
That was Callie's poem from my book, The Bridge, which is available during Village Well Books in Culver City. I also have 51 days of poetry prompts for anybody who wants to get started in writing. So I believe, I don't remember what the prompt was that goes with that one, but I do have to hop off now, you guys. Thank you so much for an incredible live. If you guys want to be notified every time I go live, give me a follow and click that orange heart. I will. ማርያም 21 ፕሊዝ አምስት ሰዎች የታያቸዋል። አምስት ወንዶች
እኩል ናቸው። አምስት እዚህ አምስት አንቺ ጋር ናቸው። ግን ጓንት አድርገዋል እጃቸው ጋር ታተባርኩ።
ስራ ሄደው እንደውም
ስራ ቦታ ነው።
መስፍን ጌታቸው እውነት ብቻ ታብታባታ ጋይስ ፎሎ ለማድረግ አለብኝ። ፎሎ አላደረኳችሁም ነበር። just I follow all of you. ወይ ልምጣ ወይ ልምጣ። ሙዚቃ እየከፈትሽ ነው ጋይስ? ታፕ
አስሬ አንቺ ሚዩት ስታረጊ ነው የታደ ከማን ጋር ላውራ? ቢያንስ እዚህ ኮሜንትም ከሚጽፉ ጥለሽ ስትሄጂ
እጂ ደከመኝ። ማስቀመጫ ያስፈልገኝ።
አዎ የኔ አስቀመጫው ለዛ ነው።
ታፕ ጋይስ ታፕ ተኝተው ነው ምን እያደረጉ ነው? ሊያቸው
ሂጂ
በኋላ ወተታቸውን እየደፉ ነው እያደረጉ እሱ ደክሞታል። ሲስቅ ቆይቶ ቶሎ ተኝቷል። እሷ
አርፈሻል አባል
ማስተኛት ምናምን የለም፣ ወዝወዝም የለም። ወስጄ ቁጭ ሳረጋቸው
አይለቀውሻል። እንደዛ ከሆነ
እንትን ቶሎ ብቻ አልለመዱም ማቀፍ ማለት ነው።
ጥሩ ቴንኪ። እስኪ አዳዲስ ሰዎች ነው አታባርጉት።
ዛሬ ደክሞሻል?
አይ ደክሞኝ አይደለም እንትን ብሎ ነው እንጂ ከመቼ ራሴን አመመኝ ለብሎ ነው።
አረ
ትናንት በሌሊት ነው ብዬሽለ ያልኩት የተነሳሁት የዘኝ
ቴንክ ዩ ማለት ቴንክ ዩ በጣም
when
the first time I win the first time because of you. Thank you, my contributor, Mare. Thank you. I respect you. እንጂ ነካ እንደገባችሁ ተባንክት ግን እውነት ለመናገር ማታ የሰው ቲክቶክ ምናምን ስናይ እንደዚህ ተጫውተን ትንሽ
ይሻላል እንዴ? እንትንም ይልልሻል እኮ ላይቭ መግባት ራሱ ፎሎ የሚኖረው እንደገና አክቲቭም ያደርገዋል። ከማይከፍተው ሰው እኮ የኛ ይሻላል።
ምክንያቱም እንትን ይጠቅማል ነገር በሰው ቤት ሄድኩ ነው። ከዚህ በኋላ ታጥቶ ነው ማድረግላቸው። በቃ ተገባው ለሆነ ምክንያት
አረ እንደዛ ነው። ያልፈና እስኪ ታባርክ እንዴት ነው? ሰላም ነው?
ለቻሩ ቴንክ ዩ።
አዳዲሶች ደግሞ ፎሎ ባክ መልሳለሁ።
ፎሎ አርክ ያለው እስቲ አርክ ያለው ለቻሩ
ደግሞ አንዳንድ ፎሎወር ሰላም እንዴት ነህ? ደህና ነን። ቴንክ ዩ ታፕታፕ ቴንክ ዩ። እስኪ ሌላ ቤተሰብ ታፕታፕ አድርጉ። ቤተሰብ ዳኒ ቦይስ ታፕታፕ አድርጉ። ይልሃል
Thank you guys. Tap and follow and tap. Thank you.
ግን ሶስት ሰዓት ሙሉ ነው የምንለያየው።
ሶስት ሰዓት ቅርብ ነው እኮ ከኛ
አዎ ቅርብ ነው።
በድራይቭ ይደረሳል።
አዎ
ደብል ነው ጋይስ። ቱ ጊፍት ፖይንት ምናምን የሚል መጥቶልኝ እኮ ጋይስ ደብል ነው ጋይስ ደብል በደብል አንድ አበባ ይቀረኛል።
አንድ አበባ ታርጌት አንድ አበባ ነው። እስኪ ያላችሁ ፎሎ አድርጉ።
ቲቸሩ በቃ ደገምከው። በቃ ሁለት ነው ታርጌቱ። እንደገና ደግሞ ስታርቲንግ ሱን ቱ ጊፍት ፖይንት። ኦ ማይ ጋድ ቴንክ ዩ እንደ ያለ ቻር ሰው የለ። አመሰግናለሁ። ቸርነት ይቀጥል።
አይደለም አንድ አበባ ከሰጠ በኋላ ከዛ ቦነሱ ሲከፍት ቦነሱ ጋር ሲለቀው ደብል ይሆናል።
አዎ በጣም ለዛ እኮ ነው ደብል ሆነ።
የኔውን እንትኑ ጋር አንድ አበባ እንትን ስላላልኩ ቦነሱ እንትን አይደል። አይ የማርያም ልጅ እንዴት ነሽ? ቴንክ ዩ
በጣም ቴንክ ዩ ማሪ ቴንክ ዩ።
እንዴት አመሸሽ?
አመሰግናለሁ። እግዚአብሔር ማሪ ቢኒያም ፎሎ አድርግ። እንደገና ቴድሮስ መልካም አመሰግናለሁ። ወይ ዛሬ ትልቅ ኮንትሪቢዩሽን ያደረጉልኝ ማርያም እስከ ዛሬ አላሸንፍም ነበር።
ያሸንፋል የለች ወጣች።
ደከማትን ቆየች መሰለኝ።
አይ በሰዓት ነው ብዙ ጊዜ ጌም የምንጫወተው። ለዛ ነው ዛሬ ተጫወችም እንዴ? የአስጋዲት ልጅ ተጫወቻለሽ ነው ዛሬ ምጭ
አመሰግናለሁ ማሪ።
አባቱም ከፍቷል። አባቱም ላኩልኝ ብሎ በሳውንት
ላኪልት።
እስኪ ቤተሰብ 8 ሰው ካለ ለዳስኪ ነው 9 ሰው። እስኪ ታብታብ አድርጉልኝ። በታብታብ ራሱ እኮ ማሸነፍ እችላለሁ። እስኪ ታብታብ አረ እኔ ደግሞ ተኝቼ ነበር። ግን ተይ እንደዛ ካለ አታስለምጁ። እጅሽን ስጭ ነው የሚልሽ። የኔ ግን የለውም። እንዴት ኮይን ማግኘት እንደምችል ነው ገዝቼ ትነግሪኛለሽ። በቃ ከከፈትሽ ለማንኛውም ንገሪኝ። ማምሻሽን ከተደበርሽ ጥሩ እኮ ነው። ፎሎ 1000 ገባሽ?
በአንድ ፖይንት እሺ።
አንድ ሲልት ገቢ ነው።
በአንድ
ቴንክ ዩ። ኧረ በእናትሽ ተይ።
ሉዝ ለትንሽ ነው። እሺ ማነው የጨመረልሽ? በጣም
ለትንሽ አሸንፍኩ። አመሰግናለሁ በጣም
በጣም
ቆይ እስኪ ሊሆን ትናንት
እሺ
አባቱን ቆይ ይሄን
አመሰግናለሁ በጣም ማሪ እንደ
እሱ ላንቺ መልካም ምሽት። ቴንክ ዩ። አይ ከሰው ጋር ነው መሰለኝ ጌም ላይ ነው።
ኦኬ ቆይ ቤቢ ተመልሼ እመጣለሁ። አንዴ ግን አክሴፕት በልሽና ተመልሼ እመጣለሁ።
እሺ
ምን ላድርግ አይደለ?
አድርጊ። tap. Wonder tap.
Guys, tap. No, click on that one. Guys, tap. Guys, just tap. Tap, guys. Thank you.
ወይ በኋላ እንገናኛለን እንትን ብትይና አይንና ቀርጦና ከዛ እንትን ስጨራርሽ ወይ ካልተኛሽ አይመስልሽም?
እሺ እንጨርሰውና
ከዛ አንቺን በአንድ ልብሽ
እሱ ራሱ ተናደደ።
ሰላም እንዴት ነህ
ባባ ቡቹቹዬ ወቶቾቾ እሺ በቃ
ሚዩት አድርጊ ወይስ ከዛ Thank you.
ወይስ የመጨረሻ ነው? ታፕ መጨረሻ ነው ጋይስ። ታፕ አምስት ሰው አለ። አምስት ሰው ታፕ ያደረጋችሁ ጊዜ 5 15 ይሆናል። ታፕ ትንሽ ታፕ ካረጋችሁ
ደህና ነው። ድምጽ ብቻ ነው። አይ ኮሜንት ላይ ድምጽ እንትን ሲልባት እንዳይዘጋባት እያሉ ነው። ብዙ አይደለም እያልኩ ነው። እኔ ደግሞ
ቢዘጋብኝ ችግር የለውም።
ለምን እዚህ ያደረሽውን ለዚህ የደረሰ ቻናል ያደገ ቻናል ታያለሽ።
አደገ ነው የሚባለው ይሄ 2000
እንዴ? ያው እያደገና 2000 ታዲያ ብዙ እኮ ነው።
ብዙ ነው። ከዜሮ ላይ ሆኜ ሳስበው ብዙ ነው። ልክ ስደርስ ያንስብኛል።
አሁን ችግሩ 4000 ያስገባሻቸውን ፎሎዊንግ የሚለውን እንትንቴና ፎሎወር እንትን ፍሬንድ የሚለውን እንትን ታያለሽ።
ኦኬ እሺ። ፎሎ ያላረጉኝን ሰዎች አንፎሎ ማድረግ ነው ሀሳብሽ?
እንደዛ ነው ሀሳቤ። እስኪ ፎሎ ያላረጋችሁ ፎሎ ለምን አኩል እንድትሄጂ ነው? 10,000 እንድትሄጂ ቢያንስ 10,000 ሰው ድረስ ፎሎ እንድትደራርጊ ካንቺ ጋር አኩል ማለት ነው። 10,000 ብቻ ነው ማድረግ የምችይው ፎሎ። ለዛ ነው። አንቺ ግን በለጠ 2,000።
ኦኬ እሺ ያድርሰኝ እንጂ 10,000 ችግር
ፎሎ ጋር ብትሄጂ እኮ ባንዴ ነው የምትደርሺው። እሱ ጋር ፎሎ ቤታውን እንትን ብትይ
ረጅም ሰዓት ያልኩሽ
ረጅም ሰዓት አይደለም።
ላንቺ
እንደማታካራችሁ አሁን በባለፈው ፍቅር ቤት በ10 ደቂቃ አልሞላችም ሲያስገባት።
አረ
ችግሩ ምንድነው? ቀደም ተከተሉ ሲስተም ሆኖ ተንካልሽው ነው። በቃ አንተ ጨርሽና ወይ እንገናኛለን ላኪውና ፊትሽን እያሳየሽ ምናምን ሲሆን ይሻላል እሺ አይሻልም
ዝጊው እሺ
እሺ ወይ ጨርሽ እንጂ አንቺ ዝጊው
እሺ
ስጨርሰሽ ባለፈው ሼር ባረኩልኝ ጻፊልኝ አሁን
ሄድ አይደለ ሜላት ካሜራ ስላላበራች አልታየባትም
እስቲ የታለ ውዴ እሱ ነው አንዴ አይነሽ አንዴ አዛጋሽ እያለኝ ነው እስቲ ነኝ ጉዱን ያሳይልኝ
ያው በቃ እንሰነባበትና እንዝጋለን
እንዴ ጥሩ ነው ያለሽው እንደው
እንዴ በርሽን ዘግተሽ ቁጭ ተኝተሽ ነበር እንዴ
እዚህ ጋር እንዲህ ብዬ ነው የማዋራችሁ ጭምጭም ብሏል ያይ በቃ እንደሆኛለ ነገሩ
እኔ ሌትም መጥቼ እንቅልፌ መጥቶ ዛሬ ቀጣለሁ እንግዲህ ከይቅርታ ጋር actually had a client ልጆቹንም ቴክ ማድረግ ነበረብኝ እንዴት ነው ክላይንት ሪስፖንድ ማድረግ የነበረብኝ ነገሮች ነበሩ ሴለር ኤጀንቶች ጋር ምናምን ኮንታክት ማድረግ ነበረብኝ so I was still working good I still didn't want to miss it መጥቼ join ማድረግ ስለፈለኩኝ ነው
ሚት አርጊው እስቲ ልጁ
እንዴ ለቀቀብን እኮ
sorry
No,
cut you off.
that's okay. Yeah, no problem. So, እንግዲህ ሶሪ ሌት ስለመጣሁኝ ማዚ ይባላልው ዲሲ ቨርጂኒያ ሜሪላንድ ላይሰንስ ኤጀንት ነኝ። እዚህ ደግሞ ሰኞ የመጣን ከፍሬና ከሜላት ጋር እናስተምራለን። እንደዚህም ከሰዎች እንማራለን። So it's a good platform. I enjoy ማረቀው ፕላትፎርም ነው። እናንተም ጊዜያችሁን ወስዳችሁ በጣም ስለምታዳምጡ ጥያቄ ስለምትጠይቁን ከምንም በላይ ደግሞ ተጠቅማችሁበት ሄዳችሁ ለራሳችሁ ከኛም ጋር ሰራችሁ ከሌላ ሰውም ጋር ሰራችሁ አትሊስት የሆነ ነገር ምን መጠየቅ እንዳለባችሁ ምን ኦፕሽን እንዳላችሁ አውቃችሁ መሄድ በጣም የሚያስደስተኝ ነገር ነውና የማውቃትን ትንሽ ኖሌጅ ሼር ለማድረግ ስለቻልኩኝ I'm very grateful. Thank you.
ቅድም ምን ማለት ፈልጌ ነበረ አንድ ነገር መስራት ስትፈልጉ like this is based on my own personal ፍላጎት this year but I want it like አዲስ build from the ground up build ማድረግ አለብን like let's do one እለዋለሁ አልፌና hey did you check on the hard money lender like you know መስመሩን የሚያሳይሽ ሰው ነው የምትፈልገው አይደል where do we go you just either you have to do the research yourself research አርገሽም የማይገባሽ ነገር ይመጣል አንዳንድ አምበሽም አይገባሽም አንዳንድ ነገሮችና so አንድ ነገር ማሰብ ስትጀምሪ and then if act ማድረግ ስትጀምሪ እዛ ላይ መንገዶች ይከፋፈታሉ left and right like I'm looking at a banner construction loan የሚል even like wholesaler I was talking to him on the phone and hey you know we want to get into እንደዚህ scrape የሚደረጉ ቤቶች ምናምን because I had heard him ምን ሲል ሰምቻለሁ how is this year I don't know how have you been doing ስንለው oh yeah I did about arat manam this is my fourth one wholesaler no he's a kid እና ሁለቱ were scrape ነበሩ scrape ማለት ቤቱ was in such a bad condition ደሞ ተደርጎ ነው አዲስ ቤት የሚሰራው ምናምን ሰምቼው ነበርና so በኋላ ላይ ሳዋራው I was like I just asked him randomly you know I want to get into addis build የሚደረግ script የሚደረጉ ግን I have no idea yet እንደምንጀምር like how to start he was like oh my god you got the right person አባቴ this is what he does 20 ምናምን አመት ይሄን የሚሰራው he manages እንትና ቀደም ወንድማችን እንደመጣው እነሱን ነው የሚሰራው በቃ he's a project manager እና ከሱ ጋር አገናኛቸዋለሁ ምናምን ብሎ that ended ፍላጎቱ ነበረ you act on it I made an effort to ask this kid because he had ትንሽ information ስለነበረ scrape የሚደረገው property ላይ ተሸጠውና in life ቤት መግዛት ስትፈልጉ you come here አይደለ ትሰማላችሁ you act what's the next step is action action could be minimal like creditaችሁን fix ማድረግ ይሆናል cuz income ስለሌለ ኢንካሙ ከሆነ ደግሞ የሚያስፈልጋችሁ you work on getting ደህና የሆነ ቦታ ደህና የሆነ ስራው ላይ ያንን አክት ስታረጉ ደግሞ the next step ይከፈትላችኋል it's amazing how the universe works like አንድ ነገር ላይ ስትፈልጉና አክሽን ስታረጉበት cuz without action ቁጭ ብላችሁ አመታቶች ስፔንድ ታረጋላችሁ which is also my experience ቤት አዲስ ነው መሸጥ ፍላጎቱ እየነበረ with zero action አንድ 5 አመት አጥፍተናል but you have to act የምትፈልጉት ነገር ለማግኘት ትመጣላችሁ ታዳምጣላችሁ what's the next step act on what the next step is ቤት ownership ከፈለጋችሁ ሜላት ነኝ I'm a real estate agent and an investor in Colorado በጣም enjoy ማረጋው ስራዬ ነው ይሄ like I love anything that has to do with fixing homes and touring homes and እና ጥያቄ ካላችሁ እዛው reach out to me ኮሎራዶስ መግዛት ከፈለጋችሁ እና ማዚ ማለሽ ዲሲ ፍሬም ማለች all over the state ተጠቀሙብን we'll guide you and we'll help you ባለን እውቀት በሙሉ እንረዳችኋለን
Thank you Melina ማዚ በጣም ነው ማመሰግነው as always መተኛት ስትችሉ ከልጆቻችሁ ጋር አብራችሁ መምሸት ስትችሉ እዚህ ግን ቁጭ ብላችሁ ስለከብራችሁን ስላመሻችሁ በጣም አመሰግናለሁ እንዲሁም ሁላችሁም ታዳምጡን ያመሻችሁ you know በጣም ነው የምናመሰግነው ከልቤ ነው ይሄንን ስል ደግሞ ከልቤ ነው ዝም ብሎ ማንም አያዳምጥም there is something that you know የሆነ ነገር የያዛችሁ ነገር አለና I hope ዛሬ መታችሁ ወይንም እንዲሁ በተደጋጋሚ ስትመጡ የሆነ ነገር ቀስማችሁ ተጠቀሙበታላችሁ በያስባለሁኝ በተረፈ ሜላት እንዳለችው እንዲሁም አዚ እንዳለችው ዩዝ እኛን ተጠቅማችሁ ከኛ ጋር ቤታችሁ መግዛት ትችላላችሁ እኔ ፋይናንሱን ሰራላችኋለሁ ሞርጌጅ ሎን ኦፊሰር ነኝ ካምፓኒያችን ወደ 42 ስቴት ይሰራል እኔ ፐርሰናሊ 12 ስቴት ላይሰንስ ሆኜ እሰራለሁኝ ግን የካምፓኒያችንን ላይሰንስ ተጠቅመን ከኔና ቲሜ ጋር ሆነን ሎኑን any of those states 42ቱም ስቴት ሞርጌጅ ሎን ከፈለጋችሁ ከኔ ጋር መስራት እንችላለን አብሬያቸው ምሰራ at least ላይሰንስ ዲሆንኩባቸው አብሬያቸው ምሰራቸው ኤጀንቶች አሉ በጣም like ጥሩ ናቸው ብዬ የምላቸውና እነሱ ራሱ ሪፈር ላደርጋችሁ ይችላል ምንም ነገር አይኖርም just ጥሩ ከኔ ጋር ከዚህ ፊት ዘክተን ጥሩ ብዬ የማያቸው ሰዎችና እናንተን ሰርቭ ያደርጋሉ መላቸው ኮኔክት ላደርጋችሁ ይችላል በተረፈ በተመሳሳይ ፕሮግራም next week እንገናኝ ፍሬኒንግ ከኮሎራዶ ደና ሁኑ ደና ደሩ
እሺ ወራቻለሽ